Okay, so we have Casey Amos.
Casey Amos?
Amos.
Okay.
From Australia.
Hey,
Welcome,
Casey.
And I've been seeing a lot of the number 6 lately. I'm wondering what my guides, leprechauns, might be trying to tell me.
I like that he's a leprechaun, or she. I don't know if Casey's
Right?
what Casey is, but Casey. Well, let's talk about numerology in and of itself, because it's easy for you to look up the number 6. You could just Google that and go, what does the number 6 represent? And you'll see all the detailed pages and pages of sites that will tell you about the number 6. But what I want to say is that when people ask me, why do I keep seeing these numbers? Yes, you're supposed to look up that number and see what it means. At the same time, on a very simple and friendly level, the universe is just giving you a nod and a wink going, we're right here with you. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Don't question it right now. We're just letting you know we're with you. That's what that is. It is a confirmation of an alignment that you are where, I want to say, not only physically where you're supposed to be, but mentally where you're supposed to be. And so when you know that, you begin to trust it. And when you begin to trust it, you trust it because you know there's something deeper in it for you. So those numbers lining up are about you bringing you more to the present moment. Okay? But if you want a message from the leprechaun, and thank you for asking that, because I do channel a leprechaun named Kevin, and yes, I actually do. I've spent a lot of time in Ireland. I feel like I've picked up these energies. Let me see.
Okay, you ready for the next one?
Right before I go there, the message is stand tall. Stand tall, Casey. Stand tall. Fix your posture and stand tall in more ways than one.
Okay, Casey, you're up next.
All right.
Hi, Metamystics.
Hi,
Hello.
Casey.
My name is Casey, and I have been holding on to old habits for far too long. First of all, that's very good that you recognize that. I'm wondering what my spirit guides might suggest for me to move on to my best life. Thank you.
Casey, do you have any kittens? I keep seeing kittens around you, and I feel like you should get one. And I see a beautiful white fluffy kitten. You know, it doesn't have to be white fur, but that's what I see. But it's kitten energy. Now, you know, the spirit guides, when they give messages to me, they come right out with the metaphors and with the imagery, and it's to really connect to something within you. That innocence, that delicate fragility and preciousness of kittens, like the kind of kitten when they're so small they can fit in your shirt pocket. There's something about that resets and activates the nurturer in you, Casey. And that's the message that I'm getting, is that you need something in that sense to take care of in that way that's an infant. And I do see it that it has to be a baby, a young animal, not an older one, okay? Because there's that very delicate way that you have to treat them, and you have to watch them. And it's almost like I feel like there is this nurturer in you that isn't getting a chance to pour it all out. It's like, oh, these people can't handle me. That's like what the issue has been with you. But an animal can absorb all the love that you got and even want even more. So that's the first step here. Number 2, I would suggest, these are interesting things because what they're showing me. Yes, okay. What they're showing me is that it's like tactile. You have to have physical touch with things. So I like put your hands in clay, put your hands in something that can shape, and use a little bit of strength, and put a little bit of strength, physical strength into it as you're shaping it, and then smoothing it all out. Again, I feel like there's so much inside of you that is brimming over to get out. It's really not a lack of emotion and energy. It's almost like you just don't have a big enough canvas to receive all of this that you have inside of you. Okay.
Casey. Hi, Riz. My name is Casey,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering if there's a reason why I feel so heavy all the time.
Casey, let me feel into that. Yeah. So you have hit your max right now. And that means doesn't mean you're here to check out of life, though it might sometimes feel like you want to check out. In fact, that's one of the signs of your next awakening coming. I will call it you are on the ascension is happening now for you. So as you are having this, I call it ascension symptoms. This is one of the ascension symptoms, which is a general feeling of heaviness day to day, where you don't know. Put your little pause in there. So, did you hear her hiss at me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that.
14 years with the cat. Anyway, so think about this. As you are thinking about what your ascension is, which is you're going into your next level of freedom, you're going to hit the threshold. It's sort of like water that boils. It can do nothing next but turn to steam and float and fly and expand. So you're ready for it. Now, how you choose to do this can be a number of ways. When people go through a spiritual rebirth or ascension, what they sometimes do is they have to scream and cry into a pillow. That could be one of them. I'm sure some of you have had that. And then you go through that dark night of the soul. Maybe it's in just one night or 1 hour, and you do this, or maybe you have to do it every night for a month, and then you come through. That's one way. Another way would be that you go within without any of the kind of outward emotion, and you just feel like you're shedding and you're shedding and you're shedding. Another way is to work with a shaman, do a plant medicine journey. Some people do that. I think that's the most powerful way to get through this heaviness is research plant medicine journeys with a proper shaman. And I don't know if you're talk to Erica. She can tell you about what we offer. And then the fourth thing I would say to you is start to really let go of how you think things should be. And I mean, start small. If you think, you can start with the things that you eat. You can change the way that you cook your food. And I'm really serious. You can start changing things up to reactivate. You got into a pattern. I'd say do simple things like brush your teeth with your other hand. Take a different way to work. Like you got to mix things up now. You have to just do things differently for the sake of shifting energy. Paint the wall in the house, move the furniture around, do something. Cut your hair, grow your hair, put extensions in your hair, change the way you do your makeup, whatever it is, you need to allow yourself to do that, okay? And sometimes you go, well, then what's that going to do? Well, that's like saying, what is walking one more block going to do? One more block is going to get you a little bit more closer, and there's experiences on that block. So one of my favorite sayings, I really think it's a wonderful self-help saying, is when you want to get to the top of the stairs, you don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to see the next step, and you will get there. So that's what the heaviness is. You're ready to go to the next level. And so you have to do something big. You have to do little things, and then you have to do a big thing as well. Do something that surprises you and surprises someone else. We're happy to help you. Drop Erica a note, and she'll tell you what we can do for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I live in Australia, and it's actually to do with Sasquatch as well. I was wondering if I could find a location that might be good to meditate in to connect more with the Yowie frequency vibration.
The area of the forests that inhabit what you call the Gold Coast might be beneficial for that.
Yeah, I do live on the Gold Coast, actually.
All right, then you have instinctively placed yourself exactly where you need to be, but you need to go into the nature areas, the forest.
Right. So just any forest.
Again, the idea is to follow what has been termed the cryptic meditation of planting yourself in a forest with your back to a tree or against a tree before some kind of body of water, be it a brook, a stream, a lake, a pond, whatever. And imagine your consciousness going deep into the ground and connecting to the root system in the mycelial network of the trees in the area, thus then connecting to the elementals and receiving whatever it is you need to receive. That will also cross-connect to the idea of Sasquatch in certain ways.
Okay. That's very fascinating. So my next question was actually well, I was going to talk about the cryptic meditation. Um
I've already talked about it.
well, I feel like I definitely do want to explore that vibration, but I haven't actually like done it yet properly.
Why not?
Well, I feel I feel like when I'm going about my days, I'm a bit lazy with how I'm
There
using
is
my
no
time.
such thing as lazy. What there
Yeah,
is are choices to buy into belief
yeah.
systems that don't work for you. So why are you choosing to buy into those belief systems that force you to hesitate acting on your passion? What is it you're getting out of doing that? What do you think will happen if you move forward? Are you afraid something worse will happen if you move forward and so you remain where you are?
Well, I guess there is a lot of fear in the way that I have been
About what?
living somewhat. Um,
What are
I
you
guess
afraid might happen?
okay, I guess
Don't
um
guess. What are you afraid might happen?
well, I guess sorry, I'm afraid that like I'm gonna go on the wrong path and then I'll die somehow. And
Well,
then
if that happens, then that is your path. You cannot be
yeah,
off your path. You
right,
are your path. And you have already, like everyone, laid out your entry point, you call birth, and your exit point, you call death. You will
right.
not avoid the exit point, no matter what. And if you do die, that's because you plan to die at that particular point. If you have not planned to die at that particular moment, you cannot die at that
Okay.
moment. So you might as well move forward either way because you either will die or won't die. And it will be because you chose to do one or the other at that moment. And it's unavoidable.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do want to allow myself to be in more of a flow state and letting go, but um there is just so much fear that I've been holding on to. So I'm gonna have to
But again,
look
fear
at
of what?
myself. Um
Because your fear is irrational. It is not really
yeah,
fear about anything concrete. It is fears about things you are making up in your imagination that aren't necessarily relevant for your life path.
yeah. Um
So, if you proceed in exploring what it is we are talking about and doing the cryptic meditation, the only thing you will ever discover is more of yourself.
yeah.
What is there to be afraid of about that?
Yeah, I mean, that is right. It is like I see it kind of being a like I've got to be willing to be open in the path. Like it seems like I've got to be willing to totally just flow with the
Yes, and
energy.
again, what is so fearful about that? What do you imagine will happen if you allow yourself to flow?
So hmm, I guess like
What is the big scary picture that you're painting for yourself?
okay, actually, I guess one thing is my just the way that I deal with time. I guess I haven't um I haven't allowed myself to act on my passion as best as I could with my time as well
Because
because um because I
because
guess I'm
you are afraid of something happening.
yeah.
What is the big scary picture you are painting for yourself that makes you hesitate to move forward?
Well, it probably does have to do with the fear of not being on my path, but you already said
You cannot
that
be
I
off
haven't
your path. You
yeah.
are your path.
Yeah.
You are your path.
Well, I guess what I mean is like I don't wanna like have a challenging like a overwhelmingly difficult challenging path.
Well, then you have to simply face your challenges with calmness,
Yeah.
confidence, curiosity, and creativity. and you will always benefit from them. That's what you laid out challenges for. If you are afraid of facing challenges because you think it will cause difficulty, that's only because you have a belief in the idea of experiencing difficulty as the only way that you can learn a lesson. You don't have to struggle. You can have challenges, but challenges are fun. Challenges stretch you, they help you grow. You don't have to look at it as difficult. You can look at it as enlightening. You can look
Right.
at it as stretching. You can look at it as growing, learning what you need to learn to be the soul more and more that you can possibly express through your physical self. So it's all about facing the challenges, understanding you laid them out on your life path for that purpose. So you don't have to struggle. The choice is yours. You will follow that path because you can't be off the path, but how you experience it is completely up to your free will. So why assume that it has to be a struggle? Just because it may have been in the past doesn't mean it has to be in the future. If you learn how to face challenges in a more positive way, then you will get more of a positive experience out of it. And you don't have to assume that a challenge coming up means that you have to find it to be difficult or a struggle or anything like that. That's just what you've been ingrained with. And it's just the way you've been choosing to approach things because you've been taught you have to do it that way. But that's not necessarily true. It's up to you to decide how to approach everything in your life on your life path. And if you approach it, as I said, with calmness, confidence, curiosity, and creativity, you will always get a benefit from every challenge that crops up. And that will be the way that you face them so that your soul can grow and benefit from every experience. If you understand that, then you won't hesitate to move forward because you will understand that no matter what happens, you will always get a benefit from it because you understand the idea that it doesn't matter what happens. It only matters what you do with what happens that makes the difference in your life. Do you understand this concept?
Yeah. Well, my organization of myself and my um all these ideas, because I feel like I've got like 10,000 different like
All
things
right.
that I
Stop,
said.
stop.
Yeah.
Clearly, you do not understand the principles of the formula. You have to understand how synchronicity is the organizing principle that comes into play when you follow the formula precisely by acting on your passion, without insistence, without assumption. The idea is that synchronicity will organize all the things you are passionate about, all the expressions of your passion, in such a way as to give you the time and opportunity to act on them to the degree that you need to, that's important to, that's relevant for you. You have to allow synchronicity to be the organizer, not your physical mind.
Yeah. I do love to give too much control to my physical mind
You're
sometimes.
actually feeling out of control, and that's why you're hesitating because you don't believe control exists automatically. You have to surrender, not giving up control, but surrender in the sense that surrender is giving into the natural flow of control that's
Right.
automatically built in. So you have to really understand how the formula works precisely and how synchronicity will bring you exactly what you need to act on, exactly when you need to act on it, to whatever degree you need to act on it, and then allow you to act on everything else in the proper timing. You have to start using the formula in this way to feel its effects.
Yeah. So when you use the formula, this comes into my next question. So you're connecting with like many beings, many ideas, like you do so many things, and I was wondering like how you use your excitement to choose like what you're going into next out of like all the many different things. I guess this is what I
Synchronicity, synchronicity presents the opportunities that you're available to act on. That's what I'm
right.
saying.
Yeah.
Synchronicity organizes it for you by presenting you with opportunities in certain order, in a certain timing. whatever you didn't need to do or have the time to do at the end of the day, if you are
Right.
passionate about then resting, you didn't need to do that day. Otherwise, synchronicity would have presented you an opportunity to act on it on that day. If it didn't, you didn't need to do it on that day.
So just so when it gets presented to you, then that's when you take action.
Yes,
I love to avoid what gets presented to me, and that's where I'm at.
because you are afraid of the outcome. That's what we're
Yeah.
saying. So you have to stop being afraid of the outcome because you have an assumption that things are going to be difficult or that something worse is going to happen. This is just a story that the fear-based belief is telling you to perpetuate itself so you won't let it go. You have to understand that it's not a fact that something bad will happen. It's just a story that the negative belief is telling you so that you will maintain it. That's just the
Yeah.
way beliefs work. When you understand that and comprehend that, then you will understand that it's not telling you something that absolutely for a fact will happen. It's simply making sure that you won't let it go. And if you can see through that, then you can stop paying attention to that story and start paying attention to a different story that works for you.
Mm.
It's your decision as to what story you listen to, as to what story you believe in. It's your decision. You will always be presented with both the positive and the negative options. It's up to you to decide whether or not to buy into the positive or the negative. Both are equally supported by creation. Creation doesn't care what you choose, it supports you unconditionally. If you say, I'm going to believe that this challenge will be a strain and difficult and may allow something very bad to happen if I move forward, then creation says, okay, I'll support you in that belief because its support is unconditional. You get to decide. It doesn't decide for you, it doesn't have a mind of its own. You get to decide what's true for you. If you
So,
say, I'm going to approach this challenge in a positive way, in an understanding way that allows me to know I will always get a beneficial lesson from it that will move me forward, creation will also say, okay, I will support you in that belief system. It doesn't care what you choose. You are the one that makes that decision.
okay. Um, so I guess like it requires me to look through this initial resistance and just take action.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Because the idea is that in taking action on your passion, it will bring to your attention any belief system within you that is out of
Yeah.
alignment with that. And then you can simply sit with it and say, well, why would I hold on to this belief? Because I don't hold on to anything I don't believe serves me somehow. And if it's serving me by preventing me from experiencing something worse, well, that's the belief I've set up within myself that makes it work that way. If I don't believe that something worse will happen, then it won't function that way and it'll allow me to move forward.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Um I'm sure well actually, so I'm probably gonna be look so when I next encounter this resistance, I'm gonna sit with myself. I'm gonna ask myself, um
What is
what
the benefit
yeah,
I
what
am
is
getting out
what
of
is
holding on to this fear-based belief?
the benefit that I'm getting. And
Yes,
then and then I can just take as much time as I need to just
absolutely.
work through it and
Please remember the process is the entire point of
yeah,
having this physical reality. You're not
yeah.
attempting to reach a goal. Go through the process, but don't use the process as an excuse to keep going through the process when you do have the ability to move forward.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So my next question is, I wanted an explanation about Salvia Divinorum and why people's consciousness is moved through different dimensions and placed into inanimate objects.
This is what the teachers of the earth, some of them, are designed to do so that you can understand that there are different levels of consciousness, different levels of communication and connection, so that you can let go of the limitations temporarily that you've imposed upon your greater consciousness and understand how everything is connected and how everything is an expression of the same one thing in different ways. So it gives
Yeah.
you the benefit of having that experience so that you can remember what those experiences are like and then ultimately learn to make those connections on your own without the teacher.
So are the people like choosing to go into those objects, or are they being placed there by another entity?
Of course, you're choosing to do that. You are aided and assisted and guided by other entities, but you're the one that makes the choice. And it's
Yeah,
not that you're going into them, it's that you're recognizing that they are you from another point of view,
yeah.
and you are them from another point of view. You're
Right.
recognizing the similar vibration between you that stems from the same source that everything stems from.
So I guess it's just like going into a whole like an unfamiliar like vibration when you're ingesting
Unfamiliar
this.
at first,
Yeah.
but so what? You're exploring. It will become more familiar over time as you explore and create your own map in that territory.
Yeah. Okay.
You're an explorer by doing that. But the idea, again, is to create a map within it through experience and practice that gives you the opportunity to then follow the map without the teacher and arrive at those levels on your own. The teacher is just training you to achieve those vibrational levels. Then,
Okay.
after a time, you don't need the teacher anymore. You can get there on your own.
Right. So is that something that you're able to do, like move your consciousness into different um places, like just with your like you're actually able to just do that yourself without
If I wasn't able to do it, we wouldn't be having this conversation
sure.
because I'm in a
Sure.
different reality than you are.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so my next question, how does Salvia divinorum relate to the divinorum that Willa mentioned that the cryptics use?
It is similar, but not exact. The divinorum that the cryptics use in that sense is made specifically for the biology of hybrids and will not really easily work for Homo sapiens.
So like it just won't work. Like it doesn't do anything.
It is very rare that Homo sapiens have the genetic makeup that would allow them to use the same divinorum formula that the hybrids in the future use. And that
Right.
divinorum doesn't exist yet. And different things go into it that aren't even available at this time on your planet.
Right.
So the
Um,
divinorum that already exists is sufficient for Homo sapiens use at this time. You will not be able to use the divinorum that is designed for hybrids.
um, so it doesn't exist yet, but do Sasquatch beings like make it for themselves? Like,
They can, and again, they are strongly connected to nature, the flora, the fauna. They understand how to communicate with many of the plants and teachers of the earth, and they can become, if they wish, masters of creating different formulas that can help individuals transcend time and space. So, yes, some of them move in that direction.
my last question is about the Buddha Bodhi tree story and the final door. Um and so my question is, you said that there's like many final doors that people can go through. Um, but why is it that um there's a particular final door that people talk about? Um,
Because it's a final door for one level of understanding. There are different levels of understanding and different levels of experience, each of which have a
right.
doorway to the next level. So the doorway to the next level would be the final door of the previous level.
So I'm thinking about um leading people perhaps into the forest, and maybe one day I'll be a guide for people. I'll teach them about maybe nature spirits
All
and
right. Sounds exciting.
Sasquatch. Yes. And for me to embrace this path and this vibration, I'm gonna have to release a lot of negative beliefs. And I guess
Well,
my
why
question,
wouldn't you want to?
yeah, I do want to. Um, I do want to. Um, I guess my question is,
Perhaps you should stop guessing and start acting.
Yeah, yeah. Um, hmm,
Again, explore yourself,
yeah,
find out what advantage you think you're getting of holding on to something that you know doesn't serve you, doesn't align with you,
yeah,
and realize that if you let it go, you will only become more of who you truly are. And that will
yeah.
always be beneficial to you.
All right.
So
Well,
let go
I'll
of the tight
remember.
grip
Yeah.
that you have.
Yes, I do
Remember,
have a very tight grip on my ego. I need to surrender.
remember, the only way to hold water is with open hands.
Yeah.
I do have curiosity around Sasquatch. You know, you mentioned they, of course, have been the the naturally evolving hominid here, of course, and just curious on the interdimensionality that they have and perhaps what their life looks like on a day by day. I think you've mentioned Tesemi Quest being where the name of the place they reside, so to speak, energetically, interdimensionally, and it is a place of peace. But maybe you could tell me just a little bit more about the nature of Sasquatch and just a little bit more about them would be greatly appreciated. And if they're even are they a part of the Interstellar Alliance as well? Just curious.
Yes, because in some ways they have evolved into becoming what you would consider to be an extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional species.
Mm,
So
mm,
the idea is that they are part of federations, and the idea is that they have the ability to what we call slipwalk, go
mm,
between different dimensions when they so choose. They are shapeshifters in many ways. They have evolved into a species that is no longer actually considered to be purely terrestrial.
mm. Oh wow. And so, what, out of just curiosity, what would a day in the life of a Sasquatch look like as far as their explorations and just how they experience?
They're highly connected to the idea of how nature expresses itself in different realities.
Mm,
So they are connected to the elementals, often converse with them in many different ways. They communicate deeply with the idea of all life forms and animals and trees and plants on various planets, and are very good at collecting and organizing and categorizing all the different flora and fauna in different civilizations and different dimensions.
mm.
Bashar,
Yes,
how come you haven't channeled Willa in a while?
we will not discuss that at this time. It is simply not timing for her to communicate with all of you at this point.
Okay, so well, I do have some cryptic related questions.
Yes,
First of all, I did do the cryptic meditation for 30 days, like you said,
yes.
at sunset, but I haven't really received any contacts from elemental nature spirits. None that I'm aware of, at least. Can you shed some light on that?
It does sometimes take a while. You have to persist. You cannot give up. You have to extend love to them during that meditation, a feeling of peace, love, connection. So if you haven't been doing so, add that to your meditation in nature. But do not be impatient. It may take a little while for them to relate to your vibration. Also, in that vibrational meditation, if there's anything in your life that may be bothering you, that may be an unresolved issue or connected to any kind of fear-based belief, it is important for you to resolve those things and use the meditation for that purpose to make yourself more transparent and clearer as a vibration to the elementals. They may not respond while you still have processing to do to let go of certain things that may be coloring or clouding your vibration.
Thank you. Well, is it possible for you to give us the next steps? Because you said there's 3 steps for the 3 paths, right? You gave the animal path, the elemental, the forest.
Yes,
I don't think you have
not at
given.
this time. It will be coming soon, but not at this time. The first step will be connecting with the sacred circuits again in a new way. This will be presented very soon to the public with 2 new circuits joining the original 15. And in meditating and using this permission slip as a divination system, it can help open up some of what you are referring to. But we have to take this step by step for certain reasons.
Thank you. Are there specific types of nature spirits in different locations? And
Yes.
so what type of nature spirits might I see in New Jersey?
In the forests of that area on your planet will be nature spirits that have to do with connection to crystalline structures in the earth. So sometimes you might want to bring them a crystal as a gift that may make you more relatable to their vibrational frequency.
Is malachite a good thing to give?
Repeat that.
Malachite.
Malachite is not a crystal.
Well, I just thought of it because that's what you mentioned in the Willow book about being a
I
cryptic.
understand, but that's not a crystal.
Yeah, just what I thought of right off the top of
I
my head.
understand. And it can be a permission slip for you to put you in a more appropriate meditative state. But I am talking about bringing a crystal as a gift for the elementals and leaving it.
I do have some selenite. Is that a good one? I remember you said
Selenite is good.
yeah, it's like it represents the transformation of the Orion light.
Yes, selenite will be fine. Quartz or selenite are fine.
I'm curious about Jesus. Can he be considered like a sage? Because some of
Yes.
the miracles he seems to be doing,
Yes.
like walking on water or
He was highly hybridized and able to express the idea of a much larger flow of his soul through his physical form. So yes, a sage, a teacher, a reflection of what is potential in all humans.
would you say he has extraterrestrial connections?
There are extraterrestrial connections and extraterrestrial alterations of his DNA that allowed for the things he was capable of doing.
Is that from like the Anunnaki?
No, much later.
An offshoot, right? Like the same beings that parted the Red Sea?
There is a connection to that, but again, much later. So again, we're talking more about the idea of Lyrans, Pleiadians, so on and so forth.
And so I'm just curious about a specific um thing he did where he he healed people, he brought people back
He
from the
did not.
dead.
He did not.
Yeah, I
Remember
know.
that every single time there was a healing, he said it is your belief, your faith that has healed you. So he understood that all he was doing was giving off the vibrational frequency of a healed state. But the person to be healed had to match that frequency. And besides which, you bring many people back from the dead these days. They're called near-death experiences. That's what he did. He was able to resuscitate someone whose time was not up on Earth and whose purpose in having a temporary death was for the purpose of fulfilling the idea of his mission, to show that death is not the end, that you can continue on, which is something else he also demonstrated in his own near-death resurrection into a new form, into more of a expression of his physical astral form, a quasi-physical form.
There was also apparently a time where he fed thousands of people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish.
Yes, well, again, if you understand how to tap into different realities, you can multiply things very easily because they're accessible in all sorts of different realities, different vibrations. It's a matter of resonance. It's a matter of manifestation. It's a matter of transforming and transmuting things from one elemental structure to another.